All right. How's it going this morning? Things are all right? Yeah? Okay. What's that? I guess. You only guess. This is something you should be certain of. Why the guessing? we got to fix that. We got to get you guys to, mix. Okay. So is anybody experiencing any issues? No way. What's up? To ArcGIS Pro? Did you create an account? Have you checked your spam folder? What username did you create? All right, can you tell me what your email is? Like so? Nick N Hayes 10. You logged in last on August 19th. Let me try resetting your password here. Now check your email and see. Did one come in? Yeah. Cool. So now you should be able to get access. All right. What else? That's a pretty crucial one if you can't even open the software, right? You can't find the software? All right. So if you're, what's that? The software. Yes. So if you're trying to install the software on your computer, your own Windows computer, it has to be a Windows computer. Right here under the course information folder, there's this ArcGIS Pro installation instructions. And so click on this. There's a PDF here, ArcGIS Pro installation instructions. And this will walk you through the process of installing it on your own computer. With some pictures, kind of shows you approximately how it would look. However, on the lab computers, it depends on probably the workstation, but like if I double click on lab software here, ArcGIS Pro is in that folder. I can also just press, and this works on any Windows computer, the Windows key on the keyboard, and just type in Arc, and ArcGIS Pro will come up. You seeing that same thing? Which link is it? So click that one, it's all the same. Then you have to download install first, at least, and then run that. Yep. Yeah, so the instructions on Blackboard, or Blackboard Canvas, living in last year still, I guess. This link will bring you to a OneDrive folder that has the installers for the software. The one that says install first, that's the one you really need to download and install. Install second and install third are just patches, and there's when you start up ArcGIS Pro, it'll notify you perhaps that there are updates available. You can install the patches that way. What here? Show me what it. So just put in ENVI172. Yeah, even though There's probably no reason why it should go slow. For some reason, ISU's OneDrive seems to serve up files about quarter speed what the private sector OneDrive does. So now there's a chance when you install that you'll get a message about .NET framework something. That would be a separate install. And the link for that is here. You just need whichever version of .NET the software installer tells you to install. So it might ask for 5 or something like that, or 8. And so you would need to, probably just like Google search .NET version 5. Google form. Yeah. But if we go to Lab 1 submission and actually look at it, so there's instructions, we have a bunch of questions. And then at the end, you have to make a map. You have to submit a map. So yes, but working through the instructions, you'll do a bunch of steps to answer these questions. And the questions are in the lab instructions as well. So Nicholas, you in? Nice. Still downloading? We'll get that resolved. Robert, yeah.
So there's the things that throw a screenshot. Do you just want a picture of like the actual website?
Yeah, what I actually want, if you look here in modules for this week, and I forgot to mention this on Monday, I wanted you to install the software, make sure everything worked before we dug in, but we'll just do that this morning. And what I want is just a screenshot of ArcGIS Pro, the software, not of the website ArcGIS Online. Right. And the reason why I want that is to show that you have installed the software and can start it up. Right. It's worth 0 points, so get it in there as soon as you're kind of have things up and running. You also can work on the lab computers that have the software installed and are quite capable. These lab computers are, looking at your laptops, more powerful than any laptop in the world. And in fact, even if I brought my faculty laptop in, it's more powerful. The computers in the lab here are more powerful. Still downloading. Yeah.
I would check it's already like just go to the Windows browser at the bottom.
So what do you want to check is downloaded, the software?
Yeah.
So I would, if I were you, probably the most straightforward way to do this, got your computer, just press the Windows key on your keyboard and type in ArcG. And it should, if it's installed, you should get it as a result. It should look like this. You have it? Nope. So you might still need to install. There are other ways you can verify, but you would have to purposefully not allow the installer to put an entry in your start menu, and most people don't do that. Robert, you're cruising, things are good? Cool.
About halfway there.
It's so slow. I have like a couple terabyte size data sets on OneDrive, and if I could download those, I just start downloading and go to bed. Yeah, so it looks like you don't have it installed, Nicholas. If you press the start menu button again on the keyboard, get rid of that and just type in ARC. Yeah. So then you need to also follow the instructions on Canvas. This is my bad. I should have called this out on Monday and it totally slipped my mind. So if you go to Canvas up here, ArcGIS Pro installation instructions in the modules area, you should have the link needed in the install instructions PDF. It's that second item. So Nicholas, you just made sure that item 1 is working for you, which is create an account and make sure it works. So you're on to step 2. While you wait for OneDrive to take forever to download stuff, do what you're doing and find the data that you want, that you need to use for the lab, and download that as well. And the data, the lab assignment. Yeah, so I can kind of walk you quickly through that too. Yep, that's what you want. You want to click on that. So when we go to the layer gallery and we find a data layer. Yep. So some of them may have a download link here, some of these entries, and you can just click that and it'll download. Others, may have, let me see here, places. They may have, you may have to view it. And then over here, it says download, right? Well, so when you download it, you'll get something like this. Maybe you downloaded a different data layer, but you have a zip file. We need to get the stuff out of the suitcase, if you will, right? And so I'm going to right click on this and go to extract all. And you're using your own laptop, so you don't have to worry about when you restart these computers, they reset to where they were when they started. So anything you put on the main drive in the lab will go away once the computer restarts. But since it's your own computer, I would suggest doing something like on your main drive, which is almost certainly C, right? Make a folder called, cartography or maps or something like that. I'm going to make a folder called Carto. And then I'm going to put, and you can do this in 2 ways. You can type it in like I am, or you can, excuse me, click browse, find your C drive, click the new folder button, which is here. And then I can make my Carto folder. And then in that folder, I'm going to make a lab 1 folder. And then I'm going to extract my file. So click the extract button. They will all come out. And so now on my C drive, I can expand this, C Carto lab 1. And that's what's in there. Then you have to wait for ArcGIS Pro to install to do the next step. Nicholas, you got downloading going? Sorry, I didn't mean to thumbs down you. It's coming down. There we go. It came already?
Well, that they'll already have one actual.
Okay, yeah, so you just gotta wait for it. You could extract it from the zip file if it's in the zip and all that. Cool. Working ahead. Yeah. And then, I think a good place where you can remember is I would avoid spaces, dashes, underscores. So I usually do, like if I have a math class data or something, I just capitalize math class. Do it however you would like. The reason why we avoid spaces and dashes and underscores is because sometimes complicated file folder names will cause the software to not be able to. Yeah, that's a good place in your documents folder. And yeah. Now, the data has been taken out of this case. It's a little bit confusing because it looks almost exactly the same. The one thing that's different, if you notice, between that Explorer window, Windows File Explorer window, and the one that's hanging out right behind it, is that one. The one behind it has that bar.
Can I exit down the other folder?
Yeah.
So I can actually use this stuff now.
Yeah. Once you get the software installed.
That should install it.
Yeah. And it takes a few minutes to work through the whole installation process. It's actually not as bad as it used to be. Our map, which is the kind of iteration of the software before, would take an hour to install. This will only take, I don't know, it depends on the computer, but 5 to 10 minutes. Did bring in some interesting historical data to play around with, but I think it would be best to make sure that you're moving ahead on your lab one instead of me showing you stuff you have to pay attention to up at the front. So maybe we'll mess with that interesting historical. And
Which era?
uh 1500 Scotland.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's but so maybe as a preview on Monday, we'll mess around a little bit with choropleth mapping accused Scottish witches from the 1500s. Just because I found the data set, I thought it was kind of interesting.
It popped up already now.
Okay, so this is just saying, hey, where do you want to install ArcGIS Pro? So, oh no, it's where you want to extract. So just hit next. And then wait, so what it's doing is it is essentially unzipping the installation software, right? For the installer to get that. Yes. Yeah. This is a workplace. We need to stay appropriate. Yeah. So now say you want to launch the setup program kit. Just make sure that's checked. It is closed. So now the installations.
Now we can actually do it.
Yeah, now you can actually install it. Yeah, next. You gotta read all that in detail. Read. It doesn't even make you scroll all the way down.
Am I getting tested on this information here?
No, none of that will make it on the test. That's fine. False. This is up to you. They will from time to time grab like kind of use information to try to make the software better. You can uncheck that. You're okay with if you don't want to provide that info, or check it if you care. Next.
It says the software.
Yeah. And it will come up probably and ask for permission.
Most of those.
Yeah. And you want to. Now, you hurry up. Nicholas, things are okay? Downloading, still downloading. Robert, have any questions?
When you're doing this, filling in Canvas, the question, are you able to save that and come back to the
Oh, good question. So let's see here. If I come in, I'm going to switch to student view. And then, so this is how it looks to y'all. Lab 1. Take the quiz. No, but let's see if I can make it so you can. But
do that by making multiple submissions?
you could do that. Might not like it.
Because I started that and then I.
Wait a second. Because in Blackboard, you used to be able to. The problem with doing multiples is that you won't see what you submitted the last time. So I guess my advice is until there's a different way of doing quizzes in Canvas. But let me see if I can do this. Hold on.
I mean, I can start over, it's no problem.
Yeah, I would open up a document and write your responses down and then put them all in at once. Because let me see what kind of quiz this is. This is a new
I
quiz.
just don't know how to go back and I don't know how to start it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows what'll happen? Let me see if I migrate this. What happens? Oh, things are gonna get real wild now. Oh, wrong one. Anyway. Let's see what happens with this migration. I may be able to tweak a setting when I move this from old quizzes to new quizzes.
Yeah.
And that's esoteric Canvas, weird stuff.
Yeah.
Did it finally download? Yeah. Going through the installation process, okay? So really helpful. Where attacker units, stuff like that. Almost there. Almost. So I think you can now. Yep, you can resume quiz now. So you should be able to enter it in, come back, and but you have to hit submit at the end. So what I would do is if I change things or continue on, just make sure you hit the enter button on your keyboard. Canvas seems to respond best to that. And I think you should be okay. You might want to just make a note of what you're submitting, just in case.
What,
Go ahead.
what do you click when you get out? Then you want to come back and answer the questions first and then do the math and then.
Right. I'm just going to go ahead and click away from it. And then go back in and see if my 2 additions there in those text boxes are saved. Yes, they were. So you just click away. Thank you for asking that, because that could have been a real bummer for everybody. And I learned something about Canvas, so that's good. About a year ago, we were going through these trainings, like, get to know Canvas, etc. And I would ask questions like, so can this be done? And people like, I don't know. So I never got a straight answer. Figured it out though. Thanks you. Nicholas, things just installing. Yeah, it takes a while. All right. And at least what I used to do is it'll sit there, seeming like it's doing nothing forever, and then it'll go whoop, and then you're done. I have screen captures from the mid-2000s installing the previous iteration of the software where it says 94,158 days remaining.
Okay, installed, I ran it and it just kind of disappeared.
Okay, show me.
Not here on the home screen.
That's okay. Go ahead and click there and type in ARC. Yeah. And then if you want it to be on your desktop, you might pin it to your taskbar, and then with the icons down on there. All right, now you have to sign into the using that account if you accept the invitation I sent you way back when.
How far back was it?
It would have been back in August.
Who knows, they might have,
Let's see. What's the first part of your email address before the @ symbol? Doesn't look like it. I'll just send you another one, all right? So it's JMUIR? Yes. 2. That's Sycamores. All right, you should have an email momentarily. Was that the noise of it coming in? So when you create your account with the software vendor, you can use all the same info you used to sign with ISU. But when your ISU login changes, like when you change your password or whatever, it will not automatically change with the software vendor. Just keep that in mind. I was hoping that it would, because ISU can set things so that it would, but they didn't get that done before the semester started, so. Maybe you are.
I don't think so.
I've been fully in, wait for it to check. Yeah, I'll double check. Probably somewhere out in the world, there's a Jacob Muir who has an account already. I mean, you know, there's a super racist guy in Iowa named Stephen Aldridge, so. Oh no, you have one, and it is Jacob Muir. Hold on. You're gonna get a. So I guess it wouldn't search via your email, but it's there. So now you have an email asking you to reset your password. And so now put it in whatever you want it to be, and then log in using that, and you should be good. Right. Since August, this is our first foray into the software. Although starting now, we're going to be spending a good amount of time in the software. And a lot of the stuff that I, 10 years ago would have taught via, kind of more of a lecture like we've been doing so far, we're going to do hands-on in the software. I put that same thing in again. But one tip, check this out. Right, 1 second. Clear. Copy. Paste. There you go. And now put in your new password. Nicholas, is this still like a 10% install? Yes, perfect. All right, so if you show you on here, when you first start up the software, it'll ask you to log in. On your own personal laptop, you will only have to log in once, unless something significant changes. You do need to have an internet connection. So if you're going to be working in a place that doesn't have internet, I would say you should go here to settings and go to licensing and check authorize it to work offline. But in practice, I have not found that it's super necessary to do that. I've been in the middle of the Amazon without internet and started the software up and it still works. So your mileage may vary. So when you first open ArcGIS Pro, you have this welcome screen. Here on the left will be projects that you have worked on in the past, in the fairly recent past. If there's a project that isn't in this list, you can access it by this thing down here in the lower left. It's installed. Yeah. Saying open another project. But because you don't have any projects, probably currently, you would want to interact more with this center column here, where it says new. And you're going to want to make a new map for lab 1. Over here on the right, just to point this out, there are some resources to learn about different features and capabilities in the software, including access to some online trainings to do extra stuff. These are actually really good resources. So you might have sometimes looked at like the help system in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. That help system's garbage. This help system is actually pretty useful and there's good information in there. So anyway, when we first start this up, we want to get a new project going. We click new map. What are these other items? Well, catalog is for managing data. Global scene will give you like a Google Earth style globe that you can put data on. And local scene will give you the ability to look at data in 3D on a more finer scale, right? So we're going to do a map for this particular lab assignment. Then we have to give our project a name. I might call this, Indiana census blocks, for example. And then I need to pick a location to put that in. You might want to make a folder, like Jacob did, and save all your data in there, right? Or save all your projects in there. I might have Cardo Lab 1, put it in here, and hit OK. And then what will happen is I will open up a new map window where you'll have your map area here in the middle. On the left, we have our contents pane, and on the right, we have the catalog pane by default. Can I show you some things about the user interface that might be useful? Yes. Okay. Couple things just to note. Any of these panes can be repositioned or closed. Closing is maybe a little less or maybe a little bit freaky, but I'll show you how you can get these things back. So, for example, this pane over here on the right, it takes up a lot of screen real estate. Maybe I want it to hide when I don't need to use it. There's a little pin here. I can unpin that catalog pane and it'll pop over to the right. When I go over and click on it, it'll pop out, right? And I can pin something out more permanently by clicking that pin button. All of these panes, check this out, can be moved around. If you've got multiple monitors, you can actually even drag them off to the other monitor. And they will snap to various locations using these kind of hotspots, right? I can have them snap to certain locations here. So I could set up my catalog pane underneath my contents pane, for example. I can always tear them out and put them back where they were or move them to a different location. If I close some of these, which the catalog pane I often do close when I'm not thinking, I can make them come back by going to the View tab and click on Catalog pane. One of the things that's going to happen to somebody in this class over the course of the semester is they'll accidentally close the Contents pane. Again, come to View, click on Contents to bring it back. All right. ArcGIS Pro, also somebody might do this, minimize the ribbon, gives you some extra screen real estate. And when you click on these tabs, the tools pop down. But sometimes people get a little bit worried about that. You can always expand the ribbon like so. So the user interface, all right, is very similar to Microsoft Office in the current iteration in terms of user interface. For Lab 1, you're going to be downloading data and assembling a map, right, using the instructions provided in the Lab 1 instructions. Most of us have already downloaded and extracted data for Lab 1. And so your first question is probably going to be like, how the heck do I add the data to my map, right? All right, the best way to do that is on the Map tab up here, go to the Add Data button. You might notice that some of the buttons have down arrows underneath them. That's to bring out other tools associated with that tool. In most cases, we just want to click the actual button itself. And then we have to find the location where we downloaded and extracted our data. So I downloaded census blocks from Indiana, just as an example. I've extracted them to my Cardo Lab 1 folder on my C drive. And now I can go ahead and open census block groups, which is the file that I downloaded. Your file may be in a different location and you may not have census block groups. You probably have something else. Okay. Everybody with me so far? Yes, yes. Jacob, problem maybe? Yes, so
Probably the one that doesn't say that file.
yeah, so a .txt on the end, that's gonna be metadata. Yeah, you got Indiana in the map. All right, so you got your data in there, and it is a map, but it's just a map of locations, and there's no information about those locations. Geographic data has locations, but also attributes about those locations. So Lab 1, and in Lab 1, we're going to make a choropleth map, which, as you remember from earlier this week, is we're shading the shapes in our feature set according to their value. And so we need the value of an attribute of some kind to shade our map. So it doesn't matter that my map features may be different than yours. The process is the same. In the contents pane, right-click on your map data and go to symbology. That's going to open up on the right-hand side here, this symbology pane. And right now we have this mapped as single symbol, which is just the locations. We want to change this to graduated colors. Not unique values because I have so many different shapes, graduated colors. Right-click, symbology. That's going to open up this symbology pane. And then where it says primary symbology, change it from single symbol to graduated colors. Got it? Cool. Then I want to, then I need to pick the field I want to map, right? Now I only have two fields in this data layer, which is area of land and area of water. Oh yeah, number of farms is in your data layer, not in mine. All right, I'm going to switch to one that has more variables. So in this case, I've already done some of this. We were looking at this the other day anyway, I believe. So in my symbology tab, I have, maybe I'll switch to estimated population in 2018, just as a raw data value. Right? This would be a raw data choropleth map of population 2018 by county in Indiana. Now, a map like this doesn't have everything maybe we need to make it look nice, right? So we might need to go and find some other data layers like highways or something like our state boundaries, as Nicholas, as you pointed out the other day. And we might need to get those from Indiana Map. And the lab kind of walks you through what some of those features might be. But now this is the other part of the lab that maybe seeing it done is going to help you with, right? Because while this is a map, it is not a map ready to be shared. Because if I do something like make a screen capture using the snipping tool in Windows, and I say, all right, let's I want to grab this and submit it. I'm not actually showing a map here. This is a picture of an application window that happens to have all the info a map might have, but it's not actually a map. It's not, I mean, it's definitely not pretty, but it's not even like if I were to browsing the internet and came across this, I wouldn't be like, oh, look, it's a map. I'd be like, huh, that's mapping software with some data in it, right? So the other part of making a map in ArcGIS Pro is making a layout. So we have our map here. And what I need to do to make an actual map display that I can export is to switch over to the Insert tab and choose the new layout button. I have to pick a size for this layout, right? Because a layout is sort of like making a big PowerPoint slide. We're making a poster. We're laying out not just a map, but other features that go along with the geographic features, like a legend, like a title, like a north arrow, like a scale bar, maybe some text, right? So I'm going to pick a page size, because this is very much in the paradigm of I'm making a document, right, that has map information on it. So I'm going to pick letter in the portrait orientation, but you can do all sorts of different sizes and make custom sized ones as well. This is going to make a new layout over here. Oops. Oops, I popped that out. I want it to be in here. All right, so I have my layout. And now when I make a layout, check this out. There's no map in it. I need to insert a map. So here is this map frames grouping. I'm going to go ahead and select my map that I made and draw a box right here. Now, most of the time, you'll probably draw your map frame as a box, but I should point out that there are other options, right? Your map doesn't have to be a perfect square. There are other shapes that we can make. So you can make a layout almost any way you want. So I can even make an irregular layout like this. And it's going to put my map in there, right? I can go ahead and zoom to Indiana counties. Now that's not a very good map, right? Because part of it is cut away, etc. But for the most part, probably you'll be doing rectangular map frames, right? But experiment. It's okay. This is cartography. It should be kind of experimenting with making things look interesting, not only conveying information, but making them look nice. All right, so I have my map layer in there. Now, to make a layout, I need a couple other pieces of items. So what are some necessary map elements? Legend. For a map like this, a choropleth map, a legend is crucial. So I'm going to go ahead back to my insert tab here, and you'll notice there's map surrounds grouping here. I have a legend button. So I can click on the legend button, and then again, just draw my legend out here. All right, so now I have my legend. There's some problems with the legend, like what's SPOP 2018? Right, this isn't human readable, really. I mean, it is. We can guess, but maybe we want to change this. And also, this isn't opioid prescriptions. This is just the number of people, estimated number of people. So we want to make a few changes. Instead of changing the actual items on my page, I need to change how it's shown in my contents pane. There is a way to change it on the page, but if you notice, like if I double click on this, you know, not that I can't go in and change the names of the items here, right? What I really want to do is change this so it says estimated 2018 population, right? Now I still have that est pop down there. I might decide to get rid of that. I could do this, select it and delete it in my contents pane. But it's not letting me. So another thing that I can do is in my legend tools here, I can go to layer names. Let me see. Oh, sorry, legend and format. And in here, let's see. I can change various aspects of these descriptions, appearance. Going to make these. Let's see if this changes it. Wrong item. It's not descriptions. Headings. I'm just trying to figure out what it titles this thing in the end. There it is. So I want to make my headings go away. There's a different area to do this, but anyway, I could do this in a variety of ways. I could just set the text fill color to be no color at all, and then it'll go away. But then I have blank space there. And so let me see here. in my legend gallery, I can go ahead and choose maybe a different legend layout. I don't like that one. Let's go to more here. I can find a layout that doesn't have that particular item in it. Or this is what I usually do. Or I can go into my legend and uncheck headings. There we go. Sorry, it took me a while. Okay, so I have my legend here. Little bit of an issue with it because I somehow added some gray background. So I might need to go in and change a little bit of this. See, the background is going to be no color at all. There we go. Okay, what else is missing from this map to make it a better map? Corrections, yes, so like a north arrow. I think I mentioned this the other day back in the insert tab, insert a north arrow. There are no pleasing north arrows, in my opinion, in ArcGIS Pro. You might like this ugly monstrosity or maybe this ugly monstrosity, but you just pick it and draw it out, right? And then it'll be there. We can change the format and design. The gallery isn't very helpful, but we could change kind of how it's laid out, and then also whether it's showing us true north or magnetic north, right? So here in Indiana, we're at a longitude where true north is actually, we have a declination of like something like 11 to 13 degrees. I forget which one, to the west, but that would be how you adjust that. All right, what else is missing from this? Oh yeah, title. So I have a couple aspects here. You might be tempted to go to dynamic text and find something in here like maybe if there's title, but that isn't usually the approach that I would recommend. Instead, I would recommend just adding in some text here and then giving it a title. And then formatting this text block like so. So go here to my text symbol and then maybe give it, you know, some kind of wonderful larger font. I'm being sarcastic here, by the way. This would be a horrible font to choose, but and then positioning that in a decent place, right? Okay, so we kind of have our required elements. The last thing I want to show you, just as something to think about, might be maybe you want to add labels in. And so to do that, we have to go back to the map and select the feature we want to label. In this case, maybe my state boundaries. And then I'm going to go over to labeling and click label. All right, now any changes I made to the map are going to be reflected in my layout. All right, we're at time, so I'm not gonna, we're past time actually, I apologize. I do have a class that starts in here at 10 and it's pretty full. So I don't mean to like kick you out, but I have to like kick you out. Sorry. You can hang around. Chances are that it won't be full, but you might have to move because you're in somebody's spot. Right.
Now, let's see if I can get something that looks like we were asking for on the assignment.
So